Right. So,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Kirsche. While you're telling this story, this is still going.
yeah, no, it's still fucking going,
God
man.
damn.
It's still fucking going.
Uh, Emperor Creatine says there was one particular individual that was so obsessed with libeling Kirsche that they tweeted roughly 110 times a day, dragged people even tangentially associated with her, like Razor. What?
Yeah, that's true. That's the person who had basically been spearheading the harassment campaign against me. So they started in March, tweeting, 20, 25 times a day about me, some shit like that, right? Like, it was crazy. Just, like, throwing out all of these allegations, again, making up that, like, Ku Klux Kirsche nickname that now people on Reddit think is what my community calls me for some reason. Posting out of context clips, and even when I correct them, they assert that their narrative is the correct one. Right, and, like, I correct things out in public, not for the sake of the people lying, because they're not going to stop lying. Like, we know that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But for the people looking in, the people who don't know me, who don't know anything about me, who might believe the lies about me. And there was a smaller YouTube creator. He's got a very cute accent. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I'm so bad at names. I don't hate you. But, like, he made a video where he was just like, I fell for this. I fell for these lies. I thought what they were saying about Kirsche was correct. And then I looked at what she had been posting, I looked at the context of the clips, and I found out that this was nothing but a smear campaign. And I feel bad, because if I fell for this, then other people have too. And so I appreciate that guy, like, had, the humility to be like, I fucked up, and I judged someone based on a smear campaign, and I want to correct that record. Like, it takes fucking balls to do that kind of thing, man. Nobody likes apologizing. Nobody likes being wrong.
Dude, I think that was, you posted a video where somebody took like 10 minutes of you out of context.
Yeah. That person had tried to smear me last year, and like that post that they did on me last year, my harasser that tweets about me 100 times a day now, also retweeted that and tried asserting that was correct and that was, what I believe in. And at that point in time, like, Keir Starmer hadn't given his speech yet. I hadn't talked about any sort of, like, replacement migration at that point. Right, like, and they're trying to say that, like, even though I talked about the replacement migration that Keir Starmer talked about, that the UN has a paper on, they're trying to apply it to the Great Replacement Theory. And, like, not a single time have I ever been like, yeah, the Jews are doing this, because that's insane, right? Like, when politicians come out and say, like, yeah, this is what we're doing, like, it's the politicians doing it. Mm-hmm. It's not because of, like, some sort of a racial group or, like, religious group.
Dude, like, you said something, and the idea of somebody tweeting about anything 110 times a day should tell you everything you need to know about the mental capacity of this person, right? You tweet about anything.
Even before he glommed on to me, he had been critical of other VTubers, and all but, like, celebrated one trying to take her own life because he was defending a company that she had been a part of. So that, like, anyone taking this person seriously just has zero morals, zero content of character, and it's insane that they were able to get, like, any kind of support behind them whatsoever. And I just got linked to the tweet from the person who had, like, tried to lie about me last year.
Okay.
I had watched, like, it was it was a Vice fucking video as well. That's fucking funny. It was the Vice video, like, 8 versus 1. So it was like 8 like progressives or whatever versus, like, 1 conservative or something. Mm-hmm. And so they posted this as, like, proof that I am some sort of racist or bigot. And then one of the pictures is, like, the YouTube transcribing of what's being said in the video. Mm-hmm. And so this is, like, what the people in the video are saying, interspersed with my own words. So you can't tell, like, what I said and what the people in the video said unless you're watching it. And so they're trying to say, like, everything in those transcriptions is what I said, and that's what makes me a racist. Mm-hmm. And then, like, they also use my Papers, Please playthrough, which has been used ad nauseum because I said the colors on the passports, and so they're like, oh, you're talking about real brown people. It's like, no, I'm not. It's the color on the passport, you freaks. And then, obviously, I am against reparations because paying reparations is ridiculous, and giving people money based on their skin color is ridiculous, and anyone who thinks otherwise is just a racist.
You know, it almost, it's so stupid to even, like, just the idea of someone having to say, like, I've done this with other people who have been accused, like, the people doing the accusing, there's so much projection on them. There's so much insecurity when it comes to
Oh, yeah.
like an insecure narcissist is the worst kind of narcissist, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you see in situations like this. You know, I was doing math on the tweets, right? They said 110 tweets about you. That's if they're awake for 24 hours. They're tweeting about this every 13 minutes.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane, and there's nothing else you can call it besides a harassment campaign.
Yes,
And they had been they
yeah.
had been adding my sponsors, and then they want to pretend like, oh, I don't want to ruin your life. I just want you to face consequences for the things you say, and it's like that. That's the same. Like, what do you mean? Like, you've literally been trying to financially ruin me, and somehow some like progressive weirdos took you seriously and used you as a source.
Well, and they probably source that, and then, you know, like it's the old journalism loop that you see where
Oh yeah.
somebody writes something, then they source that source with, you know, and that the original source was once again anonymous Reddit users. So
Yeah, 100%.
fucking insane.
I just wanted to, ignore this person because it's clear that they are mentally ill, derogatory. So like I just wanted to ignore them, but once it started ballooning into like a journalist kind of thing, it's like you can't ignore that anymore, Like
Right.
it's become a real thing, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know if you
Yes.
saw this, but like the tweets have increased in frequency since this video came out, but someone did make this video of scrolling all of this harasser's tweets just to give a sense of how many posts about me there were, and these are only the ones that mention my name. There were plenty that didn't have my name but were about me. So these are just the ones with my name in them.
Oh, there was us. Check that out. This is where they got pissed about the Real Game Awards.
Yep.
That's awesome. Okay. So this seems like a really balanced, insane individual here.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, for sure. Does that, like, legit question, does that worry you at all? Like, for your safety? Because that's really fucking insane. This is just, wow.
Yeah, for my safety, like 100%. Like this level of derangement makes me afraid for my safety, because I've seen other streamers have people who have like taken flights to their houses, have like torched their cars, have like tried to assault them. There was I don't want to say a good reason, but there was that streamer in Japan who I guess was like using this man financially, and he had taken out loans, basically ruined his life. He went out and stabbed her. So like there was a heavy quotes like good reason, don't stab people. That's bad, obviously. Hot take, murder bad. Right, but it's like with this level of like derangement going on, like I don't like that I have attracted the attention of someone that is this insane, that has the time to do this kind of thing, because it's going to escalate. Yeah. It's going to escalate. And then like one of the tweets in here was like they showed pictures of Anders Breivik, and I tell a story every so often. I loop a lot on my own stream. Back when I played Paragon, I had a Smurf account, and back in the day, whenever people played MOBAs, even in MMOs, they would name their characters like Benito Mussolini. They would name them Adolf Hitler. They would take like just crazy, insane, terrible people. Like they'd be Pol Pot, right? And they would just name their characters after that because it would be funny. Like you got killed by this insane historical figure,
Right?
And so I used Anders Breivik's name. And eventually, support reached out to me, and they were like, "Hey, we need you to change your name because people have been reporting it, and you should probably change that." And I was like, "Okay, I kind of want to see something here." And like, I described him in one of these loops as like a commie killer, and everybody's angry because he killed kids. Hot take: don't kill children. That's bad. I think Anders Breivik was a bad person. Hot take, mass murder bad.
I know.
But like, it's edgy kind of joke thing. And I was like, okay, if you're not going to let me be a communist killing nationalist, I'm going to use the name Umkhonto we Sizwe, which was the militant arm of Nelson Mandela, who would murder his political opponents. They were a black nationalist communist group militia. And so I was like, if I can't be this other guy, let's use that. Right. So
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Kirsche. While you're telling this story, this is still going.
yeah, no, it's still fucking going,
God
man.
damn.
It's still fucking going.
That's it's crazy. You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I had my gamer tag. I had a Smurf account that was John Wilkes Booth as well.
Yeah.
So like, it's fucking funny, you know. Like,
Yeah,
just,
it's funny, and like some of them are just like, oh, it's too recent, you can't do that. I don't remember when it happened, but hasn't it been quite a few years? I was like, I guess like what else is like recent that I could use? That I'm sure there's people who have like named their characters in games like after, you know, the cop that killed George Floyd, or after George Floyd, or some other like recent person. I'm sure there's tons of people who use the names of like the pilots in the 9/11 fucking attacks. Right? So it's like, yeah, it's edgy and you might not like it, but that's not a reason to campaign to ruin my life. Like, that's insanity.
Wow. Like, you see that level of obsession, and yeah, like, it worries me for you. You know, like, clearly not mentally well, clearly obsessed in the worst possible way. And like I said, you could tweet about, like, you tweet about anything, let alone a person. That is straight up, like, if Blab's tweeting about spaghetti 100 times a day, I'd be like, she's fucking weird, you know?
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
The other day there was somebody else who like made a tweet talking about, oh, I've seen so much hate about Kirsche on my timeline, and all I can say is, yeah, keep it up, we need more of this. Like, just calling for more hate and harassment against me, and then called me slurs. And I was like, well, I'm not a cricket, I'm a fox. And they ended up losing their sponsorship over that. And because they lost their sponsorship, some other creator made like a Ko-Fi blog basically admitting that, like, yeah, Kirsche's been harassed, and yeah, this person like used slurs and called for more harassment against Kirsche, but you can't be racist towards white people, and Kirsche's just facing the consequences of her actions, and she's directing harassment towards smaller creators. And it's like, I haven't done anything. My post was literally, actually, I'm a fox. I didn't contact anyone's sponsors. I didn't send anyone to anywhere. Like, this is insanity. And of course, it's one of those people who's just like, actually, you can't be racist to white people.
Right. It's like, and that's where we're at with society, where there's such a huge divide. These people have been brainwashed so bad that, well, actually, you see that, and you realize, like, there's probably no coming back from the amount of derangement and brainwashing that they've had to believe this. It's amazing.
Oh.